Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video, and I've got a 6x12 pocket page on the left side, a 6x8 on the right, and the right side's really easy because all I'm doing is just putting in this map from the mat. So it doesn't need anything else really unless I decided to embellish the cover in some way, but I doubt that I would. So on this side, I have a little bit of red here to match with this, so that helps. And this is just a screenshot of the train that we took because we were using the subway, and so I wanted to have a screenshot of that, of the time we left, where we were. So we went from Grand Central all the way up to the Met, so I wanted to have that in there. So the red marker there on the geotag certainly helps, but that means I also have green in here. I have blue in the background there, as well as blue in the sky here, and this is actually, I'll cooperate here, a postcard that I bought because I've been to the Met before and it's very hard to get a good shot because it's always crowded with people, as you can see in my photos, very much so. And trying to get a straight on shot is extremely difficult because you'd have to go across the street and there's tons of traffic normally. There are food trucks parked there a lot of the time. So it's difficult. So I did buy this in the gift shop. I don't think this is a bad photo, so that's why I have them both in here. I could still decide not to use the postcard and just kind of keep that as an extra souvenir if I want to use my own photo, but I'm undecided at this point right now. So I have both of those options, and I have another 3x4 photo. This is really the only pocket that I have to fill with a card. It definitely wouldn't be another photo, so it'll have to be a pocket card of some type. And then it's all the fun of embellishing everything. Rather than starting with a card here, I decided to pull out some embellishments just so I have things at the ready. So I pulled some stuff that I knew had both green and blue in them. So I have this geotag here. I've got this kind of ribbon type embellishment here that has blue, and I think that's actually fitting because the Met is huge. You can get lost in there. And then I have some other chipboard pieces here that have green and blue in them, as well as these. And this one actually fell out of there, but there's green and blue in there. And then I was also actually looking back at this one, that this red might work because it's got this street grid pattern here kind of in the background, and it might work with the red that I have if I could work that in either on the card or on one of the photos. So this little pack may pull double duty if I end up using this as well. So I've pulled out two 4x6 pocket cards that I like. They're both very white, which isn't quite what I was thinking, but I didn't have any 4x6 cards that were New York specific that were really in any other colors that would match. So it's going to be one of these. I kind of like this, that it's so bold, and then I could, splatter on it or do something else with the background, but I almost feel like it's too faded because I've got a lot of gray in here already, whereas this one does seem to jump out a little bit more. It's got some blue to go with this here, and it gives me room to journal, which I could talk about the fact that, we had just left Grand Central and that was the first experience for my friends, and we're going to the Met, also their first experience, but that I was happy to go back. We took the subway, any of those things that I could include there. And so I'm thinking this is probably the winner, and then I'll still have to work in maybe some red somewhere with this. If I do use this, I don't think I'd put it on this card. I think it would be down here. Actually, you know what? When I'm looking at this, it's not the same red either. This one's a little bit more muted, but I'm thinking maybe that corner so that it draws the eye, and then there would be red over here with the right-hand page, and so it would kind of have a visual triangle of red. The brochure, and then the 3D sticker, and then the geotag. All right, I have added this sticker, and I like that. I like that it goes with the other reds that I have. However, I did notice one thing about this. I wasn't going to put anything behind it, but I think I have to because I forgot that I have brads sticking through the back of this, and that's kind of ugly. If this, happens to slide over, you're going to see that, and I don't really like that. So, my camera's not focusing, I just noticed. There we go. So, I think I am going to have to find some kind of a background paper, so that gives me the option to work in some color. It wouldn't be green, that'd be like too Christmassy, but maybe a very subtle light blue with a pattern, maybe, or something black and white, not sure. So I will work on that next. So I went into my stash of 6x8 papers that I have that are made that size, just to trying to avoid to cut anything. And this one was in there, and it's just a simple grid pattern, which is fine. It's a nice subtle background. You'll barely see any of it peeking out, but the color is pretty close to that, and then it'll cover up the yucky part with extra washi and a brad. So when I was looking at what I have left here, I've decided I don't want to use this. I don't want the look of 2 geotags on there. I just don't think it's needed. So I'm probably done with those. This won't really fit unless I were to put it on here, which I am considering, because again, it's a big place. And I could, oh, you know what? Look at that. I could put it right under the mat. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do it right now before I change my mind, because I like it. And I had no other plans for this. It's kind of big. These bigger embellishments are hard to use sometimes. So you know what? It'll go right on here. Maybe not directly under, but little bit off center there. There we go. And it doesn't harm the map. You can still open it up and see, you know, everything that you'd want to see in there. So I think that's pretty perfect. So I have these chipboard embellishments. These are from Freckled Fawn, and they came just like this, but they were all falling out, so I just popped them out and put them back in the baggie. But I'm looking at this piece of chipboard because it's pretty close to the right green that I've got there. And then if I wanted to, I could put it kind of right up here in the corner and journal around it. It wouldn't take up that much space. And then it brings a little bit of that in there. And I do like the way that looks. I'm just wondering then, do I need some green over here? I wasn't going to do anything else with this, but dilemma. I'll keep that in mind just to see if I have something small that I could add there that might be green, but I am going to add this one for sure, so I can do that. And these come with adhesive on them, so you just have to peel that off if you can. That was starting to take off some of the chipboard, so I'm going to try a different spot. There we go. All right, and then I will just put it right up here. Don't want it, yeah, I like it overlapping the lines a little bit like that. There. And then I can do my journaling around it later. Now I have pulled out my pouch that has all of my phrase labels, different types of travel related labels in there. And I'm going to go through the green and see if I have anything that's the right color and that might have a phrase that would be appropriate for over here. Well, I didn't find anything in these phrases that was either the right color or the right phrase. So I think I'm going to make my own. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the Project Life app. And I actually have these cards saved that I made for other things. And I think what I'm going to do is get rid of the quote by Marc Chagall. I used that for something else already. I'm going to save these because these are all related to art and museum type of things. So I want to keep that and reprint it. So I'll just change this side. I'll pick a green background. I'll make some new phrases and I'll be good to go. Okay, so I have picked a bright green background that I want, change the font to white, change the style of the font. These are the phrases I'm going to print, and I chose to do the one that says again because I figured it could say hello and again. I didn't think I wanted a lot of green on here for the Christmassy tone, but to bring this in, and if it's just right here, I think that'll be okay. So I'm going to save it here along with my other one. If it'll cooperate, there we go. So I'll get that saved and then I'll print and I can do the next part. So here is the card after it's printed. I am going to cut it, cut out my strips, and then I can add it to the layout. So I've cut out the strip that says again, and I'm going to cut it down a little bit because obviously I don't need it that long. So let's see here. I want it about like that, so it goes kind of edge to edge here, so maybe about here. So it looks nicely centered over the hello part. Yeah, like that. All right. So that's just a tip. If you ever really need a phrase, you can make it yourself. Just get on the Project Life app, or really any app that will let you have a solid background where you can do text, and lots of apps can do that. I'm just more used to using the Project Life app, so that's what is functional for me. There we go. All right, yeah. So that one's done. I know I don't need to add anything else there. Now I have to think about, am I finished with this side or does it need more? All right, when I put everything in the pockets, I've decided this one is done. So I'm going to do a close-up. Here's the left-hand side. I love using my screenshots. And then here's the right-hand side. All I did was add those two things. And then because I ended up not using this postcard that I had, I will just save that for another layout or save it just as a souvenir for myself to use elsewhere. But here's another one done for New York. Thanks for watching.